Hello everybody, I'm Maria and welcome back to my Nook. Today is going to be another reading vlog, but it's going to be a little bit different because I want to try out two different concepts for my reading vlogs basically. In my last couple of reading vlogs, I noticed that they're getting quite long and also a bit repetitive. I don't know if it feels the same way for the audience because self-perception is obviously a bit different sometimes. Most of the times, actually, I think. But for me, filming those reading vlogs often felt a little bit repetitive because I was usually filming my reading vlogs over the course of about a week lately, because I usually started a book or had just started a book and tried to finish it in the reading vlog, and that takes me about a week lately. Now the thing is, first of all, at some points I don't know what kind of B-roll to film anymore. Like the little clips between my talking clips where you see me reading or flipping through the book or whatever. But by like the fourth day or something, I don't know what to film anymore because I can only flip through the same book so many times, right? And in my last reading vlog, I read an ebook, so that makes it even harder. I can only film so many B-roll clips when I'm reading a book on my phone or on my laptop, you know what I mean? Also, on some days, I really only read like 30 pages or 40 pages. So obviously, if I update you every day, my opinion doesn't change every single day, because an opinion doesn't change every 30 pages, you know what I mean? So yeah, I want to try out two different concepts. This is a hashtag I'm showing. I don't know what that was. I meant two. In this reading vlog, I would like to try out a little weekend reading vlog because it is currently Saturday and I would like to film over the weekend and then finish the reading vlog once the weekend is over. I might extend it onto Monday, but I'll see. And in the reading vlog following this one, I would like to try and basically do a week-long reading vlog, but not update you depending on the day, but instead update you depending on how many pages I have read. So I'm hoping that will result in me having more to talk about or less repetitive things to talk about. And I just want to see if any of those things are more fun to me, or if any of those things work better for me, or if I'm gonna stick to what I've been doing before. I don't know, I'll see. It's an experiment, I'll just try it out. Anyway, for today's weekend reading vlog, I want to first give you a general reading update, what I've been reading between my last reading vlog and this one, and what I want to start reading today, because that is going to be exciting. So in my last reading vlog, I finished 6 Crimson Cranes by Elizabeth Lim, and since then I have first of all bought the paperback. Actually, I have it right here lying around because I highlighted things in the ebook and I wanted to transfer those tabs basically into the physical copy that I now own, because the ebook is a copy I borrowed from my library and I'm obviously not going to be able to look at those tabs anymore once I've returned the ebook to my library. So yeah, this is the copy of 6 Crimson Cranes that I have bought for myself, and it is gorgeous. It's so pretty. Honestly, all the covers for Six Crimson Cranes are so pretty, but especially the pastel covers. There's even 2 different versions of the pastel covers. This one is just so gorgeous. Now, after finishing this book, I continued reading a bit more of The Wise Man's Fear by Patrick Rothfuss, which is a book that I've been reading since the beginning of February, I believe, ever since I finished the first book in the series, which was The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss. I made some really good progress in the meantime. Just yesterday, I read over 100 pages in the ebook, and I'm now on page 690. I mean, of 1860, but it's still a good bit into the book. I'm now 37% into the book. I mean, it's only 1/3, but I made a decent amount of progress. By now, a lot of things have happened. We're still... Actually, now we're not at the university anymore. Kvothe has exited the university, which I am honestly quite sad about, because I've just started really falling in love with Kvothe's friend group at the university and the kind of shenanigans that they were up to. I was enjoying it so much, but he's up to different adventures now and his journey has just started. I'll see if I'll listen to the audiobook a bit more during the weekend, because I will definitely bake today. Maybe build some furniture, because I ordered some furniture and it should arrive today actually, so I might listen to my audiobook while doing that. Other than that though, I really want to start the sequel of Six Crimson Cranes, because I actually really enjoyed this book, and I got myself the paperback for The Dragon's Promise, also by Elizabeth Lim, obviously. And this pastel cover is gorgeous. It's not exactly the matching copy. I also did a bit of an oopsie. I bought these 2. This is the pink-ish pastel cover, right? And there's this kind of pink-ish pastel cover of Six Crimson Cranes as well, but this is the darker pastel cover. Now the thing is, I prefer the darker pastel cover of Six Crimson Cranes, but for The Dragon's Promise, first of all, the darker pastel cover only comes out in June, and I did not want to wait this long to read the sequel, because I genuinely thought I would probably lose interest until then. And second of all, I actually prefer the pink pastel cover for The Dragon's Promise. And here comes the thing. I checked. I usually check the publisher when I'm buying books in a series to make sure that they're matching. And I checked the publisher for these 2 books, and for both of them it said Hodder and Stoughton. The online shop where I bought these books offered different versions, like one from Hodder and Stoughton and one from Hodder and Stoughton where and was the symbol. But both of these, it said, were from Hodder and Stoughton with and being the word. So I thought they would be the same, basically, just different colors, you know what I mean? But turns out they are absolutely different sizes, and they're, well, I mean, shit happens, I guess. Also, I mean, you probably already noticed, but the spines are different. which is not that big of a deal because I actually kind of want both of them to be forward facing, but not like this. I might show you in a clip in a second. But yeah, I'll be reading The Dragon's Promise. I'll start today and I'm actually really excited. The end of Six Crimson Cranes gave us a bit of a sneak peek where it might be going. I am not sure if I could tell you what will happen in this book right now, because it might spoil Six Crimson Cranes, but honestly I also did not look into it because I just enjoyed Six Crimson Cranes and I was like, I want to read the sequel. I don't need to know what it's about. So I literally do not know what it's about other than what was already said in Six Crimson Cranes. But that I think I really can't talk about because it would be spoilery. Anyway, this intro has been way too long already. I am going to get to reading now. Alright, hello everybody. I know this is a very different kind of camera position that we're doing right now, but I've told you about the furniture that I ordered and it arrived. First of all, huge thanks and respects to the delivery guy because holy cow. I ordered a shelf thingy and I did not realize it would be this heavy. I live pretty high up in my apartment building. We don't have an elevator and this guy just like strolled up these stairs. He wasn't even out of breath and how quickly he came up these stairs. I don't think I have ever managed to walk up these stairs with like a suitcase or something this fast. I was astonished, frankly, especially once I saw how much this package weighs. Anyway, we're sitting here right now, you know, this wall right here, and this right here is my desk. I've already put everything else away, like my chair usually stands right here, and behind me used to stand my keyboard, but I need more storage. Mainly for books, but I just need more storage in general. Honestly, I haven't played on my keyboard forever. I might just put it away, and if I do want to play on it, I would probably be able to just put it on top of the shelf. I'm going to pop my headphones in and listen to my audiobook of The Wise Man's Fear probably while building up this shelf now. Also, I hope it doesn't take too long because I gotta get ready for a get-together tonight. Working? I think it is. I just dropped my camera while trying to get it off my tripod in order to change the battery. That just gave me a minor heart attack, I'm not going to lie. And honestly, I believe that was the first time I ever dropped this camera. And I've had it for like 7 or 8 years, probably. And I don't remember ever dropping it before. I handle my cameras like raw eggs, honestly. And that just gave me such a fright. Anyway, hi. It is the next morning now. It's Sunday, and my god, am I tired and my voice sounds so croaky. I told you about that get-together yesterday. It was actually a birthday party. It was more of a get-together, not a party in that sort of sense. And I didn't drink any alcohol because I don't drink alcohol. There wasn't that much alcohol involved in general at that party. We were just kind of like hanging out, eating cake, drinking soda, that sort of stuff, listening to music. But I still only came home at 2 a.m., which is so out of the ordinary for me, you have no idea. I was in bed and asleep at like 3 a.m., which is definitely much closer to my usual waking up time than it is to my usual going to sleep time. On the other hand, my body is the kind of body that basically always wakes up around the same time, no matter when I went to sleep. So I went to sleep at 3 a.m., but I still woke up at my usual time, meaning I only slept like 4 hours last night. But we're gonna see where today goes, I guess. I have a few things to do, but I'm also hoping to be able to relax and read a lot. Speaking of reading, no, maybe I should first talk about the last clips you've seen which were the clips in which I was building up that shelf thingy, which I did not manage to finish in time before I had to leave. But anyway, I'm gonna continue that today, hopefully very quietly, because it's Sunday, you know. Maybe listen to my audiobook a bit more, maybe just bask in the silence a bit. As for reading updates, now we're getting to the real stuff. Yesterday, I made it to page 784 in The Wise Man's Fear, just by listening to it while building up that furniture. And that is 42% into the book. I'm almost halfway into the book. Can you believe that? Like, honestly, this has become a bit of a marathon. The Name of the Wind was more of a sprint for me because I had to finish it in a certain amount of time for the book club, but this thing has become a bit of a marathon, and I've never done a marathon and I would be so bad at it, like, honest. Now my SD card ran out of storage, so I don't know if this day is starting very good right now. But I mean, it's not too bad. I'm totally fine. And that was actually not sarcasm. I am totally fine so far. But anyway, what was I saying? I am actually so proud of myself for keeping this thing going and moving at this pace. Like, at some point I was starting to accept the fact that I might only finish this book by, I don't know, July, August, something like that, that it would take me months and months to finish. But maybe not, maybe not. I mean, I still don't think, I'm definitely not gonna finish it in February, and maybe not even in March, but possibly April. And that's not too bad, actually, for such a chunker of a book that I'm only reading as a sort of side read from time to time between books, you know. I'm good with the way this is going right now. Can I tell you anything about what's been happening in The Wise Man's Fear? Quoth has gone on a journey to meet someone, and now that someone was in need of help from Quoth, one, help that they actually wanted from Quoth, and the other part was help that Quoth figured out they needed, or Quoth thought they needed. And I haven't yet gotten to the part where it either turns out that Quoth was right and they did need the help, or whether his help would turn out to be good help or bad help, or turn out to be efficient or not efficient. I don't know yet, haven't gotten to that part, but I'll see. The Dragon's Promise by Elizabeth Lim. Now this one, honestly, I haven't gotten further than you saw. I finished chapter 1, which is page 10. So far, Shiori has traveled to the Dragon King's, is it the palace? I don't think they're at the palace yet, but they're in the realm of the Dragon King, and there's a bit of conflict there. Like, she has something that the Dragon King would want from her, but she's not actually planning on giving it to him. He just wants information from him about this thing that she has. And she is keeping her intentions secret from her dragon companion so far. So we'll see how that's gonna go. I'll see how much reading I'll get in today, because I definitely need to eat breakfast first. And then I wanna finish building up my shelf and maybe read afterwards. Oh my god. I'm done. I'm done. Hallelujah. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Alright, hello. I am here to give you a quick reading update. It is the next day and it's actually Monday now. Just yesterday I was entirely too exhausted to give you a reading update. I read like 4 pages or something in The Wise Man's Fear, and that only happened really because the day before I had to leave the book on a cliffhanger because I had to get going, and that did not sit right with me. I wanted to read more in The Dragon's Promise, but I just could not focus on it without knowing what's going to happen next in The Wise Man's Fear. So I just read like 4 pages in order to know what was about to happen. Then I found out, and then I put The Wise Man's Fear aside again. I can't tell you what happened, obviously, because spoilers. But afterward, I did pick up The Dragon's Promise again and more. I read up until page 52, which is the end of chapter 5. I finished chapter 5. A lot of things have already gone down. Considering it now, only 52 pages into the book, and a lot of things happened already. We've been to a lot of places already. I mean, within the same kind of place. We also found a couple of things out. I already tabbed a handful of things. So far, I'm not entirely sure how to feel about that, because I'm not yet sure whether the character that is responsible, whether they have a plan or whether they do not. So that is going to be interesting, I guess. I can definitely see a couple of threads in this book, actually. I am absolutely intrigued and I definitely want to continue reading. I don't know how much reading I'll get done today, because I did decide to include today in the weekend reading vlog, even though Monday is technically not the weekend anymore, but I just want to get more reading done other than building up furniture, you know what I mean? Let's get to reading. Hello, I am here to give you the last update of this very vlog. It is still Monday, quite a couple of hours later since we last talked, or since I last updated you. And this is a very different kind of camera position and angle than I normally do, but I have been reading in this exact position for a couple of hours, I think. So I thought, why don't I just prop up my camera and update you like this. So I have been reading a bit more in The Dragon's Promise. I am on page 123 now, which is somewhere in the middle of chapter 13-ish. There has been quite a bit of back and forth going on, which I am not sure yet whether or not I am happy about that or how I feel about that. Chapter 12 ended on another kind of going back event. So I purposefully read a couple of pages into chapter 13 so I would see where that would go before I would update you, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere else than I am expecting it to, really. So I just thought I'm gonna give you an update now. It's a bit hard for me sometimes to talk about this book because it is the sequel to another book, so some things happening in this book could possibly spoil the first book, but it's hard to determine that. Like, which things are spoiler for the first book and which things are just things that happen in this book, you know what I mean? But anyway, I think I've mentioned that the main character Shiori is in the dragon realm in this book, and after the events of the first book, she has something in her possession that she wants to bring to a very special someone, and she needs to gather information about that someone. She needs to find that someone first, but other people want to prevent her from bringing that object to that someone because they want it for themselves or something. I'm not entirely sure yet about the enemy's intentions, basically. Are they even enemies? There has been so much like chaos and back and forth going on, and so many moments where something happened and I was like, oh my god, things are going south. And then it turned out that somebody else actually had a plan. If the main character had done what I, as the reader, would have considered not good, then the plan would have worked, you know, that sort of thing. So I guess there's a bit of deception. There's a lot of people keeping secrets from each other, which is why most of the plans have not really worked out yet. One person has a plan but doesn't tell the other person, and the other person has a plan as well but doesn't tell the first person, so neither of the plans work out, really. And now there is the possibility of betrayal of someone that was her most trusted person in all of this. I'm also not entirely sure yet. I, as the reader, and also the main character, already thought that that person betrayed the main character before, but then it turned out that they just had a plan and didn't tell the main character about it. You know, that sort of thing. So now I'm thinking, did they actually betray her? Or is there just another plan involved? I feel like it's a bit messy so far. Or maybe it is supposed to be deceiving and like throw the reader off track all the time. I don't know, but it definitely keeps me intrigued and curious, and I want to know where it's going to go next. Those are my initial thoughts of The Dragon's Promise. To give you some final thoughts on this reading vlog, I have read a total of 123 pages in The Dragon's Promise and 99 pages of The Wise Man's Fear, so almost 100 pages, and that makes a total of 222 pages in this reading vlog within 3 days. I mean, that's like 74 pages on average per day. And considering how much time I spent building up that shelf and that I was out all evening on Saturday, I'm really happy with all my reading progress that I did this weekend. And I actually had a lot of fun with this reading vlog. It is a different kind of concept that I normally do, but I liked it. And even though I did not manage to actually finish any book in this reading vlog, I hope you didn't mind. I don't think I minded. Maybe I'll change my mind on that later on or while I edit this vlog. I don't know, but as of right now, I don't think I might. I had fun during this reading vlog, and I might do this sort of weekend reading vlog again. If you enjoyed this video, perhaps give it a thumbs up, maybe subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any future videos I will upload. And perhaps let me know in the comments if you have read any of the books that I read in this vlog. If you haven't, maybe just tell me what you are currently reading or how you're doing, or just anything you want to tell me, really. Maybe follow me on Instagram, or I will see you guys somewhere else on the internet. Bye!